This is Courtney with some tips about going ahead and doing great strategic plan research when you're looking for academic articles. Academic articles are terrific to provide a great foundation about what the greater hive mind is actually thinking about key issues that would inform our decision and our next steps forward. I want to point out that going ahead and going to the upper school library LibGuide, which is available on SaintsNet, is a wonderful starting point. You can see all of the various databases that we subscribe to, many of which are at a college and graduate school level. And if you even look at teacher resources, you can see that through EBSCO, we have ERIC, which is the Educational Resource Information Clearinghouse, as well as professional development and teacher reference collections that are really useful. So you can search all of them just by using this widget right here, which I've also embedded on the Strategic Plan Research LibGuide. So if you go ahead and just type something in here and do your search terms, you can go ahead and find out. If you click on peer reviewed, you're just going to get back academic journals. Keeping it more broad, we'll go ahead and get a variety of things back. I would say think about if you have key phrases that you know are commonly used phrases, and if so, to go ahead and put those in quotation marks just as if you were doing a natural language search in Google to make it more efficient. But if you go ahead and click on that type of a search, what's going to come back is books in our catalog, as well as, here's a book that's an old one, I wouldn't look at that, from 2002, but it could be interesting to kind of see the original arguments that were made. Keeping it broad, we always tell our students, if you're thinking that you want something exactly on what you're looking for, but in actuality, you have to make it broader. Single-sex Catholic education might actually have a lot to inform us. Going ahead and looking at things about students from other countries, about higher education and girls' experience can also be really useful. If you go ahead and take a look, obviously a lot of recent stuff has come out regarding mathematics and scientific achievement. So going ahead and keeping an open mind while looking at those subject headings to see what is it that people are using to code these things. Obviously, single-sex school, is something that is an obvious search term. And you can click on that and come back with everything in single-sex schools, and then add key terms that you think are useful. Anything that shows an access option, you usually have options of like a PDF, which is easily shared, as well as if you want to look at things online, you have those abilities. So going ahead and tootling and playing with search terms can be really useful here. I wanted to also point out that I and anyone over 50 can become an OSHER member over at the University of Richmond. And OSHER is a program that's actually a nationwide program that tries to get older adults onto college campuses and learning things and having a community. And for $75, I'm actually a University of Richmond student, and I have a student card and can get discounts, as well as I have access to all of their library services, which is why I do it. So I have access to basically $200,000 worth of databases that the University of Richmond subscribes to. As a result, you can go to the University of Richmond. If you Google University of Richmond Boatwright Memorial Library, it will take you to this page, and anything you find here, I can go ahead and actually get for you. So here, I'm going to do that same search. So I'm going to do single-sex education girls and go ahead and search that. And you can see that there's a ton of stuff that comes back. You can find this information and just go ahead and, copy it and send it to me, and I can go ahead and find it. But I think that they have a plethora of information that's really outstanding. And once again, you can read abstracts and look at information that can help direct you to other things. So if I'm going to go ahead and say the single-sex debate for girls in science, I can see here there's a PDF I can get for you, but to also go ahead and look at the various information that they're putting it under for the subject headings. So role models, program evaluation, this is about non-formal education. It's specifically middle school students. It's interesting to go ahead and take a look and see what it is that they're directing you to in terms of topics. So going ahead and finding things like this can be really helpful, and you can narrow it down to dissertations, or if you want books, or in general magazine articles that are more digestible, or if you're really looking for peer-reviewed information. Also keep in mind the time period. If you really want only recent stuff in the last 5 or 10 years, it would be great to go ahead and modify it and see what is more recent. In addition to these places, to go ahead and look, and if you're not finding the search terms are working for you, feel free to reach out to me or Shelly or Christy, because your librarians are here to help you find great search terms that work for you. I wanted to also point out that we tell students mining resources that we know are good and looking at their bibliographies can be really useful as well. So, taking a look at things like Untangled by Lisa Damour and the comprehensive bibliography that goes along with that, or even more recently, Girls on the Brink by Donna Jackson Nakazawa, which was so groundbreaking because Nakazawa, who is a science journalist, really focused on specifically the science of girls' brains and what is happening with various types of stressors societally and otherwise. And it was both alarming and really helpful because she has specific recommendations for parents and for schools in the back of her book. So going ahead, and her bibliography is incredibly comprehensive. So looking at that and determining areas of research could be really, really helpful when we think about things. So this was just an example for single sex education, but obviously anything that you're looking at, whether it be development and stewardship or any of the various pillars, we can go ahead and have a starting point and try and find more information. So do let me know if you're struggling to go ahead and find things and make use of these great resources, and let us know how to help you. We want to have a strong strategic plan with great direction, and I'm sure that you're all going to do an incredible job. So thank you in advance.